Hi everyone, it's me, Professor Jonathan Vasquez, and today you're going to learn about the consonant sounds. Hi everyone, welcome back to the English phonetics course. And as you read it in the title of this video, it's going to get focused on the consonant sounds. So before we start explain the topic, I would like you to know about two different categories that the consonant sounds involve, which are voiceless sound on one hand and voiced sounds on the other hand. What are they? Voiceless sounds are those sounds in which you do not have to produce an effort. You don't have to make any effort when you pronounce the sounds. On the contrary, the voiced sounds are the ones in which you actually make an effort on pronouncing these sounds. So in other words, I'm going to put this into practice and you are going to realize about this once you start pronouncing the sounds. But I think it's really important for you to learn the two different categories, and in that sense you can classify them when we are learning each one of those. Okay, so those sounds and those phonemes that you see on the screen are going to be the consonant sounds that we are going to learn, but they are divided to different groups. But before we get into that, I would like to explain that these consonant sounds belong to something that is called manners of articulations, which describe the manner in which these mouth organs trigger or produce speech sounds. As I said it before, all the consonant sounds that we are going to learn throughout these videos that I'm going to make are divided into 5 different groups, as you can see on the screen. Those groups belong to the manner of articulations. In this case, and specifically in this video, I'm going to start with nasal and plosive. Then another video will be uploaded next week only with the fricative sounds, which are third group. And finally, in 2 weeks, I'm going to conclude with affricates and approximants. It means that consonant sounds are going to be divided into 3 different groups or 3 different videos. Okay? Alright, so let's get into the topic, and this video is going to get focused on nasal and plosive. So nasal. So here in this group, we only have 3 different consonant sounds. Remember that we are learning sounds. So in this case, this one is this one is and this one is a mix between N and G, which is going to be something like Okay, so some characteristics are: number 1, the distinctive feature of nasal consonant is that you let the air out of your nose as you pronounce it. That is why it's called nasal, because it is produced by your nose. Second one, air can only escape through the nose. And then last one, you push air out from our nose, which means in conclusion that everything comes out from your nose, right? So the mouth position of each one of these consonant sounds are the following. The first one, which is starts in the middle of your mouth and then it goes out like that. Then in the second one, it's not in the middle but just a little bit up, and then at the end we have and it's like from the back of your mouth. So let's put it into practice, because maybe you still do not understand, but as soon as you pronounce them, you're going to realize that it's pretty easy. So the first example is mon, then we have money, lemon, and some. Remember to make emphasis in the sound, because otherwise it's not going to sound like an M, but instead it will sound like an N, and we don't want that because N is the second one. So if we take a look at the second consonant sound, the first example is no, then we have never, soon, and long. So until this point everything's easy because we are familiar with M and N, but here is when everything gets complicated because this sound is not just a simple N or a simple G. I think it's a mix between both. And as you can take a look at this note below, it says this consonant sound is pronounced when an N appears before a K or a G. So some examples are sing, bring, hunger, wrongly, thing. So I'm going to repeat them again. It's not sin, because that's another word, but sing. Then we have bring, hunger, wrongly, and then at the end we have think. This N is this phoneme, okay? So let's practice with some examples in context. I'm going to read number A. How many monks are on their way now? B. I'm coming to the conclusion that nobody knows. C. You can't sing, Mandy, no way. And D. Working on this movie has not changed my mind. So now it's your turn to practice at home, okay? So let's move on to the second group, which is plosive. In here we have 6 different consonant sounds, which are B, T, D, K, G. Okay, remember that they are sounds, so that's what I'm doing the sounds, okay? So there are only 2 characteristics, and the first one is that they are made by fully blocking the flow of air as the air leaves the mouth. In second place, we have that the sound is produced when the blocked air is released in an explosion. That is why they are called plosive, because they produce an explosion, okay? So there are no more characteristics, and we are going to learn these sounds by practicing them, all right? So let's move on to the mouth position, because here it is important for you to take into account that even though they are in only one group, they are also divided in subgroups. So in the first one, we have B and B, and they are produced from the middle part of your mouth, and the air goes from the back of your throat, and at the end it's going to be released like in the middle of the mouth. In second place, we have T and D. And if you produce this sound, you're going to realize that it's not going to be placed, your mouth is not going to be placed as in the first subgroup. So here we have to take into account that the position in which we're going to put our tongue is a little bit, it's up. So when we pronounce t, 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 it's not the same as we're pronouncing p, t, t, t. And then we have d, d. Here is where we have to put our tongue. And the last subgroup is k and g. If we are going to produce this sound, you are going to realize that the mouth position is in the back of your throat, and you produce it like this. And all right, so I'm gonna repeat them all in order for you to see the way in which I produce the sound. Okay, so the first one, then right? Okay, so let's get into the practice, and here I'm going to read some sentences, and then after that you're going to realize about the pronunciation of each consonant sound. So let's start with the first one, which is please place your plates in a pile in the parlor. Second one, bravo Brandon, you've brought us back a kebab from the pub. Third one, Tony's tonsils tickled as he took a tipple of tequila. Fourth, don't you dare defend him, Derek. He definitely did it. Fifth, can you come camping in Turkey with me and Claire? And sixth, I grew some grapes in my garden and locked them here in my bag. Alright, so I think that's it for now, for this first video. And in order to conclude, I just want to make a summary about everything. Let's remember that consonant sounds belong to the manner of articulation, and they are divided into 5 different groups. Today's video get focused on nasal and plosive. Next video, which is going to be uploaded next week, is going to get focused only on fricative, which is group number 3, and then in 2 weeks a new video is going to get focused on affricates and approximates. So at the end of the course we are going to learn the consonant sounds in 3 different videos. Okay, so that's it. That's pretty much everything for now. If you need more information, do not hesitate to contact me, just in case you need any clarification, maybe if you didn't understand, or you can do it by yourself. You can look it up online. There are many resources in which you can actually learn from the consonant sounds. Okay, I think the most important information that you need to remember is first the groups, second the pronunciation of each one of those. And I think this video is not difficult because we actually know all the consonant sounds already, because they are in our own native language. We already know the sounds in Spanish, and I think you can relate that to the pronunciation in Spanish. Later in the second one, I think it's going to be a little bit harder because there are some consonant sounds which are not familiar with us. We don't really know the way in which they are pronounced. So in that sense, second video I think it's going to be a little bit more interesting, and at the end affricates and approximates as well. So I'll see you in class. Bye.